The day my mother looked across the table at my 8-year-old and said, "She's so difficult, just like you were," I heard 30 years of my own childhood in one sentence. I spent my whole childhood as the difficult one, the dramatic one, the handful, and I had just watched my family hand my daughter the same label and same word, same voice, same age I was when they pinned it on me. I didn't make a scene, but something I had kept politely closed my whole life, quietly locked from the other side. They spent 30 years teaching me I was the problem. They were not getting a second girl. You have to understand what that word did to me. Difficult wasn't an insult in my family, it was a diagnosis. I was the kid who asked why, who noticed when something was wrong and said it out loud. My sister Claire smiled and agreed and let everything slide off her, and Claire was easy. I told the truth and got, "There she goes again." By the time I was 10, I had learned to apologize for noticing things. I spent my 20s shrinking and my 30s unlearning it. I thought the worst that word could do, it had already done to me. I was wrong. It was patient. It was waiting for someone smaller. My daughter is 8 and she's the most awake person I know. She asks the questions the adults are too tired to ask. She keeps dinosaur facts in her pockets the way other kids keep candy. She notices when a grown-up smile doesn't reach their eyes, and she says so out loud, with no idea it's supposed to be rude. She's loud and bright and exhausting and entirely herself. I love every bright, stubborn inch of her, because I know what those traits are really worth, and I know what it costs to have them sanded off. It starts the way it always starts, quietly, fondly. At dinners, Claire's son sat still and got called an angel. Lily asked a hard question and got, "She's a lot, isn't she?" She cried when she was overtired and got, "So dramatic, but where does she even get it?" And then a look sliding over to me that finished the sentence without finishing it. I knew that sound. I had grown up inside it. I could hear it warming up around my daughter, and it made my hands go cold. It came to a head at my mother's birthday. Lily corrected my uncle about a dinosaur, gently and correctly. My mother laughed and said to the whole table, "Honestly, she's just like you were. So difficult." The table chuckled, warm, familiar. And I watched it land on my daughter's face, the small flinch, the question forming behind her eyes. What's wrong with me? I had made that exact face at that exact table 30 years before. I didn't say anything, not yet. But in the car on the way home, Lily didn't cry. That was worse. She just stared out the window like she was trying to make herself smaller in the seat. And then, in a small voice, she asked, "Mom, am I difficult?" I pulled the car over. I turned around in my seat and told my daughter the thing no one ever told me. "No, baby, you're not difficult. You're awake. You notice things other people miss and you've got the guts to say them out loud. That's not a problem to fix. That's the best thing about you. Don't you ever let anybody teach you to make yourself smaller so they can be comfortable." She nodded, not quite believing me. The way you don't at 8. I reached back and gave her my hand, and she held onto 2 of my fingers the whole way home. And I made her a promise, mostly to myself. The word stops here. It does not get her. So I did the thing the difficult daughter was never allowed to do. I didn't quietly disappear, the way I'd handled everything my whole life. I called my mother, and I said it plainly. "I love you. And the next time you call my daughter difficult, we are going to get up and leave, and you won't see us for a while. She is not going to learn at your table that her own mind is something to apologize for, not the way I did." No shouting. Just a line drawn in daylight where everyone could see it. Right on cue, the family remembered, I was difficult. It's just teasing. We all got teased. You turned out fine. You're so sensitive. She's a kid. She won't even remember. Claire called to tell me I was making it about myself, splitting the family over a joke. They couldn't see that the joke had been hurting women in our family for 30 years, and I was looking at the next name in line. So 2 weeks later, at Sunday lunch, they tested it. Lily asked out loud why everyone kept laughing at things that weren't funny. My mother opened her mouth and said, "There she goes again, being," and I stood up. Not fast, not angry, just certain. I took Lily's coat off the back of her chair, put my hand on her shoulder, and said, "We're going home." The table went quiet. That specific silence that falls when the old rules stop working. My mother said, "You can't be serious." I said, "I told you I was." And for the first time in my life, I didn't stay to make everyone else comfortable. There was one more conversation. My mother, alone, hurt, defensive. And I asked her the only question that mattered. "Mum, when you were Lily's age, who called you difficult?" There was a long silence on the line, and then, almost too quiet to hear, she said, "My mother used to tell me I could ruin a room just by noticing things." And there it was. She wasn't a villain. She was a girl who'd been handed this word 60 years ago and had been passing it down ever since, because no one had ever stopped to take it out of her hands. "I'm not angry at you," I told her, "but it stops with me. Lily doesn't inherit this. I didn't blow up the family. My mother is still my mother. Claire is still my sister. I just stopped handing my daughter to a pattern that had nearly finished with me. I was not punishing my family. I was parenting my child. Sometimes justice isn't a door slamming. Sometimes it's a little girl in the back seat, watching her mother refuse to laugh along. It's a year later. Lily is 9 now, still loud, still asking impossible questions, still too much for a certain kind of room. And she hasn't made herself smaller for a single one of them. Last week at a dinner, she asked a hard question and the table got uncomfortable. Then she looked over at me, not afraid, just checking. And I nodded. That's the whole thing, right there. She will never know what that little nod cost the women who came before her. My mother and I are careful now, but real. And once, at a birthday, I watched her start to say the word about Lily and stop herself. Halfway, she caught it in her own mouth. It's the closest thing to an apology she may ever manage, and I took it. I didn't get the childhood I should have had, but I get to make sure my daughter does. Some nights, that feels like the only justice that ever really mattered. They called me difficult for 30 years, and I believed them. It turns out I was just the first one awake enough to see the pattern and stubborn enough to end it. So tell me, was I difficult for standing up in front of my daughter? Or is difficult just the word they use for the woman who finally refuses to pass the wound down?